Finish him.
Chill out.
Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. We got to talk about this clown, Rolando Romero. I know you've seen the video that I just showed in the beginning. That should show you what he's on. Now, Rolly seems to think that Terence Crawford is a bust. In fact, he can't keep any fighter's name out of his mouth. He's almost like a YouTube personality. In fact, he will probably make a really good YouTube channel where he just talks trash about fighters. Well, hey, that's what I do, right? But it's kind of sickening when he does it, right? Because he's actually a fighter, and he hasn't done anything at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't done anything in the sport of boxing except take an L to Gervonta Davis. He got knocked out, nasty style. So he's mentioning in the media that Terence Crawford can't sell a pay-per-view, calls him ugly, all these like weird little things, man. Like he really likes commenting on a lot of fighters' appearances and just runs his mouth, right? And so he's looking to maybe get a fight with Errol Spence, and he's mentioned this on several different occasions, but it's almost like, dog, what have you done to merit a fight with Errol Spence or any other top name for that matter, right? Like right now, it's time for you to go to scratch. You got to go back to scratch, right? Because you just took an L to Gervonta. You got to go back to scratch and start over. You got to start, trade picking a couple bums, get a couple knockouts. Right now, you're 14-1. That's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? You only lost by knockout once, but you got 12 knockouts. That's not bad. So start from scratch. Go, you said 140 got nothing but no names. You're right about that for the most part. But, go back to square one. Pick your little fighter out. Maybe you get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fights where you just knocking dudes out. Then you warrant a fight, Become somebody's mandatory. But you're not going to skip the line because we're not interested in that. In this article, it's like he's all over the place. First, the focus of the article was about, wanting to... No, actually, the focus of the article was Terence Crawford is not a pay-per-view draw. Which, well, can't lie, he really isn't. He wasn't really wrong about that. But it just, for me, it's a little disrespectful, even coming from me, right? Because though Terence Crawford is not a big pay-per-view draw, he's a bigger draw than you are. He's a much bigger name than you are. Terence Crawford made his name by putting in that work. What work have you put in, Mr. Rolly? Last time I saw you, you were asleep in a boxing ring, looking up at the sky, light shining in your face. And you're in denial that even happened, right? So, and then he talks about Devin Haney's nose, I'm assuming. He's just talking trash about everybody. I don't understand this guy. I don't understand how anybody can rally behind Rolando Romero when he's a goofy. That's what he is. Plain and simple. Now let's get into a couple of these quotes because they're pretty funny. Rolly versus Spence at 147 pounds. We're going to sell that shit out. And we're going to make $100 million at the gate. Rolando Romero. That's never going to happen. Because you're not going to accumulate enough wins to ever get a chance to fight Errol Spence. And by the time you do, well, their time will have passed. Let's get into the quote he had about Terence Crawford. Nobody gives a about him. Not only his own city in Nebraska. Nobody gives a shit about Crawford. He's ugly as hell, and he can't sell a pay-per-view. Rolly Romero on Terence Crawford. And then the final quote I have to get into, where he's talking about Devin Haney. I am not Devin's biological father. He's got those shit genes from Bill. He is an inferior breed, and honestly, I feel bad for him. And he's ugly as hell. We're definitely working on that fight to happen. I do think this is a perfect time. It's for all the marbles, for Undisputed. So again, Rolly Romero talking trash about several different fighters, none of which he could ever beat. But it's always fun listening to this guy. He's like the class clown, right? So he's like the core gesture of boxing right now. He's just kind of funny, but you leave the camera on him for too long, it's a little, you start to feel that little feeling in your stomach where you want to throw up, right? It's funny how this dude got his name from sparring Ryan Garcia. He's jumping from one dig to the next. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, sprinkle a little Devin Haney, Terence Crawford in there, and Errol Spence. I really hope you do fight Errol Spence one of these days. Or any of the other mentioned fighters that you mentioned. Because you know what's going to happen? Your career will be over. But let me know what y'all think about Rolly Romero, man. Because I'm not feeling the guy. Not feeling him at all. I don't have a problem with cocky fighters, but he's just cocky to the point where he's done nothing in the sport of boxing. And he really doesn't bring much to any sort of media in boxing. So we can omit him from the rest of history. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe. I'm out.